So let's go to Lee in Chico. What's up, Lee?
Hi, Dr. John. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
You got it. What's up?
Yeah, so I feel like I kind of have a loaded question here, so I'm just going to put it all out there, and then I guess we can piece it from there.
There you go. Let's do it.
So I only feel comfortable initiating sex with my husband of 7 years when under the influence of alcohol.
Okay.
We're high school sweethearts and have been together for 17 years. My parents died when I was 15. My parents died when I was 15 and 17. My mom was at 15. My dad was at 17.
Oh, jeez.
And now being, 31, I kind of feel like my youth passed me, and I've not been able to experience other people or myself.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I'm a little nervous.
No, it's good. You're all good. I'm nervous too, so we'll be nervous together.
Perfect. I also feel emotionally responsible for my husband, especially when he says things like, I'd be lost without you, et cetera, et cetera. While on the other hand, I finally feel like I would be okay if all of this ended now. I used to not want to be alone because I was abandoned. But now I'm finally kind of comfortable with it. And basically, I just feel guilty for these feelings, but also angry that I didn't get to experience life and growing up like my peers. So obviously, there's a lot of layers to this.
Yeah, but, totally. Thanks for you've thought through this. Have you been in counseling before?
I have.
Okay.
I have been in counseling before.
Your ability to pull these apart in that way suggests you've already done some work on yourself over the years. Is that fair?
That's fair, yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. Where do you want to start? Because there's some mechanical stuff, there's some feeling stuff, there's some norming and some anger stuff, and then there's just doing it stuff. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with who the hell am I?
Yeah, let's start there.
I mean,
how old were your parents when they passed?
My mom was 54 and my dad was 52.
Okay.
Oh, and to add on to this, I was adopted before I was even born.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Let's just drop that in there.
Let's add some more.
But for me, yeah, my parents are the ones who raised me, but
okay,
that probably has some identity issues in itself.
Well, there's a possibility that your body is highly attuned to relationships will get you hurt. And the more weight puts onto those relationships, the more your body is trying to protect you. Is that fair?
Fair. Mm-hmm.
And so when your husband thinks he is connecting with you, saying, you're my everything, you saved me, you're the only one for me, I can't breathe without you. Those sound cool when they're in song lyrics in hip hop videos. For somebody whose body says, hey, if you get too close, somebody dies. If you get too close, somebody will leave. That can, on the flip side, that can be torture, right?
Definitely.
Woven through here, are you going to leave him?
No.
Are you done being married to him?
No.
Okay. And it's okay. I mean, I don't say it's okay, but it's best to be honest up front. Can I just tell you it's okay to be angry? If I were you, I would be so pissed.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed at my birth parents. What was wrong with me? What was wrong with y'all? I would be pissed at my adoptive parents who clearly loved me and took me in, and then they went and died on me. Screw them, right? And I would be pissed that I've been with my high school sweetheart. I never even kissed anybody else. I never made out with it. I don't know what life was like. I just got this guy, right? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Your anger and frustration and heartbreak, all real, all good. Okay?
Okay.
You're not crazy. You're not like a bad person. You're not a bad person wondering, I wonder what it would have been like to make out with the other guy on the football team and I got this Yahoo, right? That's not a weird thing, right?
Yeah.
You're not broken or weird or strange. Have you ever talked about this with your husband?
I have, and he doesn't understand. We actually had a couple of conversations about it, and he just doesn't understand why I would have those thoughts or, you know, I don't know. We're polar opposites, right? I always tell everyone I'm loud and obnoxious, and he's quiet and reserved, except for around me. Obviously, we get along great. Um, but I just think we've experienced this world differently.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's hard for him to understand where I'm coming from. And obviously it's hard for me to understand where he's coming from.
Sure.
So although we've had those conversations, we haven't done like marriage counseling. We have talked about it. We just did a big move. So we were waiting to get settled and set up with our jobs and help and all that stuff.
Sure. So there's a lot going on.
Right. There's a lot going on.
What precipitated this call? What happened?
That conversation, granted, that conversation was a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also, again, like really loud, like outgoing. I work for sales, so I'm out with people all the time and like coworkers. And I don't know. I feel like I've tended to put myself in situations where the question about what it would be like to be with somebody else could have been answered.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm like subconsciously like putting myself there or if it just happens or I don't know.
It's probably both and. I wouldn't surprise me at all that your body is screaming and yelling and banging every trash can lid it can to get you to actually connect with somebody. And you can put yourself in really stupid positions to blow up your marriage and hook up with somebody on a business trip too. It can be both and. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
It's real easy to, y'all been married, what, 7 years?
7 years, yeah,
Okay.
but together for 17.
Yeah. This is the season when 7 to 10 years is one of the big markers. When people start saying, oh, this is it. This is my life. And they start looking for ways to get their heart rate back up. Or in other words, to feel alive. And God, it feels so good when somebody who you're attracted to, who you think's a little bit funny, you think is a little bit silly, when they recognize you.
Yeah.
And when your introverted husband comes home and grabs a bush tall boy and puts his feet up. He's a great guy and he's lovely and he pays the bills and he is kind and he cares about you, but I'm not alive.
Yeah, I just wish we were a little more alike sometimes.
Yeah. So what it sounds like here, I think there is a difference between feelings being understood and being considered valid. And there is a chance, and that's not a chance, he will never understand what you went through as a kid, even though y'all were together, right? I mean, he was with you.
Right. He was there through all of it.
Yes.
I mean, he skateboarded to my mother's funeral when his parents wouldn't take him. Like, he's a great, great guy. And I love him. He's my best friend, which is why I feel so guilty for feeling the way I do.
Yeah, but I don't think it's about him. I think it's about you. I think you are trying to feel alive again. I don't think you don't like him. Mm-hmm. But you're chasing aliveness out there. You think it's something you can go get instead of something that you become from the inside out. And so he's not going to understand. What he has to do is consider things valid. And what you're not going to understand him, but you have to consider his needs and feelings valid too. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And y'all desperately need counseling, not because I think your marriage is broken or in trouble or anything like that. I think that you'll have to come up with new language to speak to one another, new ways to paint new pictures. And he's going to have to realize that he's going to have to give on some things to help you meet your needs. he's going to have to go dancing and make out in a hallway somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's going to have to come home and y'all have kids?
No kids, no.
Okay. He's going to have to come surprise you at work and pick you up for a weekend rendezvous. Like he's going to have to make that a part of his day the same way some other guys have to learn how to empty the dishwasher. I need some help here or help with kids' bedtime. He's going to have to get over himself in some of that stuff. Okay. Like, I don't understand why you need to go to a hotel and peel the wallpaper off. I don't care. That's you being open and saying, here's what I need. And him saying like, you saying, I don't know why you just want to sit on the couch and watch The Office again. Like you're going to have to learn how to find intimacy in those moments. Okay. So it's y'all both learning each other's need language. What else do you avoid by drinking? Because it's not just sex. What else is it?
I'm not sure like what I don't know, maybe just me, like I'm like outgoing and I'll talk to anybody even without.
Yeah, but that's performance. That is a way to keep people at a distance from you. 'Cause I do it too. This is the pot talking to the kettle here. You and I can sing and dance, and it lets people feel like, dude, that we are so close. And that is the way I protect myself.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Of course it is. And it's not a bad thing. Being outgoing is super fun. I get into some more zany, fun situations. But I also have to be careful not to get myself in dangerous situations.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Because people think, oh, they think this is funny and they're loud like this. They're probably into this. Fair?
Fair.
And then you think, what would it be like to be into this? And now we're in a mess. So what else do you drink from, to hide from? What is it that you're avoiding when you're initiating sex with alcohol?
Myself feeling uncomfortable. I was also raised in a very religious background, and my body is not my own. And so I feel like sometimes having alcohol like allows me to like express myself, whereas if I'm not drinking or sober, like it's really hard to get in touch with like that side.
So I can imagine, I was raised in a strict religious home too. I get that sentiment, but you're 31 now and you've been with this guy for 17 years, married for 7. At some point, you're choosing to hang on to that narrative. Why? What is that narrative getting you?
I mean, it's not getting me anything, but...
Right? It's getting you something. What is it?
Control, maybe.
The illusion of, and that control is strangling you and your marriage.
Yeah.
Because there's also the other side where your husband probably loves drinking, Leah. He loves hooking up with 2 drinks, Leah. And he's asking himself, what is it about me that she has to have a few drinks to want to sleep with me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is there any chance you're drinking to be able to do things you don't normally want to do?
No, I guess when I included that, like, outside of drinking, like, if my husband initiates, usually, like, 2 times out of 10, I'm like, all right, let's go. But, yeah, I guess it just gives me a little more freedom to, like, express it. I don't really know.
My guess is, and I could be way off, my guess is you also drink when you're on business trips too, because it helps grease the wheels of a fun conversation. And it might help you at parties to have 1 or 2 drinks or to pregame a little bit and then to get there because you're a little bit more fun and a little bit louder. Here's the thing. You like that other version of yourself. Is that fair?
That's fair.
It may not be. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I mean, here's what makes it kind of complicated is I work in the industry. So all business trips include alcohol. All meetings include my work involves alcohol. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it's everywhere.
an integral part of like my career.
Mm-hmm. So the people I've talked to in the past that have said the exact same thing you have, that they need to have a couple of drinks before they can have the kind of sex they want to have with their partner.
Mm-hmm.
Almost all of them, no, actually all of them have said the path out of that was to first stop drinking. It had less to do with sex and more to do with I use alcohol for a number of things. To either become somebody that I think is a better version of myself or to get through things that I don't normally want to do, like a party or something sexual that my partner wants to do that I'm not really into, but I'll drink a couple so I can get through it for them. It all comes back to I'm going to stop drinking to avoid my life, which then means I got to deal with my life.
Yeah. Where do I start with that? What am I left with?
Dude, you got to call another podcast for that one. But so when it comes to let's just pick sex as an example.
Okay.
The choice to enter into I am going to pick action A, B, and C. I'm going to do these things. I like them when we do them. I have fun. I like being reckless and silly. And tonight I'm not going to drink. Every step of the way where you feel uncomfortable or you feel nervous or you feel exposed or you feel too connected for your bodies to feel safe, because super connection means, it's about being curious about those moments and acknowledging those moments, not trying to avoid them. Does that make sense? It will feel very clinical in some ways. And it would help to be open with your husband about it. Like, hey, this is what I'm attempting to do. I'm attempting for the first time in a long time to do life without drinking. And so it may be halfway through, I'm like, we got to go for a run, right? And be patient with me, whatever. It might not be, and it might be that you enter into that space and you have a panic attack. And so it's about going there with somebody you trust, and clearly you trust this guy. Truly, he's somebody who's safe. My fear is you begin to live in numb land, NUMB, in a numb world, and you begin to want to drag the fantasy, the what ifs, the questions out of a conversation with your husband and into reality. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you with all of my heart that will not fix the big giant hole inside of you. It will blow up everything.
Yeah.
Wonder is fun, and wonder is cool, and wonder is frustrating, and wonder is heartbreaking. I wonder what would have been. I wonder whatever. Keeping that a secret will kill you, and going through with it will blow up everything. When you said you wouldn't care if this all ended, what did you mean?
Well, you talked about being numb, just kind of going through the motions. That's where I feel like I'm at. Mm-hmm. I've been going through the motions for so long, parents asked in high school, okay, what's the goal? Finish high school. All right, now got to go to college. Okay, college. All right, now got to find a job, get the career. Okay, have the career. All right, well, we've been together for so long. Let's get married because it's the only thing that makes sense if we're living together. Okay, did that. So now it's like all of those things have completed, check them off the to-do list, if you will. And now I'm just stuck here, like 16 years later, like what the heck am I doing? And again, what if it wasn't like that? And what if?
Okay, hold on. But it is. That what if is not helpful. Because it is. The what if I dated somebody else? Those are all like interesting rabbit trails. The what if I hadn't have done my life like this is not helpful. The only question there that's helpful is, what is my life going to look like tomorrow? Because that's the only thing you can toggle. That's the only thing you can adjust. So where do you start? Lee, what do you want?
I just want to be happy.
What does that even mean?
I want my what ifs and what if, not what if, that's the wrong word to use. I want me considering other people. I want that to be me and my husband. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't make sense. Say it again.
So I guess I want my relationship with my husband to be all of those things that I am looking for in other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want it to be him, but it's not. Like, I feel like he's like not trying. Like, anytime we go out, I get all dressed up. I do all the things. And when we're talking about sex and coming down to that, like, I'm the one who has to like do everything. And I've been doing everything my whole life for myself, for other people, for my job. Like, why can't somebody just do something for me?
Now we're there. All the other conversation was window dressing. He has been with you, and he skateboarded to your mom's funeral. This guy's been your ride or die for a long time. And if you've heard me quote the great Esther Perel, most adults have 3 to 4 to 5 deep, passionate loves in their adult lifetime. And if they work really hard, it's with the same person. And what he hasn't realized is that you have changed. And he hasn't. And you haven't fully told him because you don't want to hurt him. And you're afraid he's going to leave. Have you sat down and said, I want you to this, and you never, here's what I need. Have you sat down and had that conversation?
No.
Okay. I would start that conversation if I'm you, or let me put it this way. I have started this conversation with my wife with, I haven't been telling you the truth. I have been acting like everything's okay, and it's not. And that's not on you. That's on me. I haven't fully spoken my needs out loud. Here's what they are. And very clear. And then I have to hold my breath because she might say, I'm not going dancing with you. I'm not whatever. I'm not doing those things. I don't even understand why. I don't need you to understand why. I'm just telling you, here's what I need. And at least in my house, those conversations have been life-altering. But it started with me being honest for the first time. So here's my homework assignment for you, okay?
Okay.
Everything feels out there and in the ether. And it also feels very unsexy to tell him, I need you just to pick me up from work one day and take me dancing. I need you to pick me up one day and just have already bought concert tickets and let's just go. I need to come home one day and you're just wearing chaps and nothing else. And I don't know what your things are, right? I don't know what it is. But it feels unsexy, like he should just read your mind and know those things that are going to complete you. And it's not fair. He doesn't know. And waiting until you don't get what you want or that he's not doing what you had hoped in your imagination or in your fantasy world that he was do, or comparing him against your fantasy version of your coworkers, of that good-looking guy that makes good money, that's pretty funny, that's funny drunk, and he thinks you're hilarious. And he says, dude, you look good. Comparing him to that fantasy of that guy is not fair. It's just not cool. Because your picture of that guy's not real and you're not being fully honest with your husband. And so I want you to get a piece of paper. Here's your homework. I want you to buy a spiral, a piece of paper, whatever it is. and be very specific. Here's what I need. And I think you've heard me say it on the show. One of those things for me is me telling my wife, I need you to tell me sometimes that you're proud of me, because all of the work I'm doing is just trying to make you be impressed. It was that literal. I need you to say the words, I'm proud of you sometimes. And whenever she said them the first few times, I was like, oh, you're just saying it because I told you to. But you know what? It still felt good.
Yeah.
And I had to ask myself, why are you chasing this? Why are you chasing her approval? And that was a longer journey for me to work through on my own, but it starts with being very, very specific. Okay? And give him a chance to become what you need. And by the way, you give yourself a chance to actually be fully loved 100%, because you don't. You hold stuff in because you don't want to because the people who have loved you in the past left you, and you don't want to give it all out because somebody may leave again. And so, you know what? I'm going to actually cut him off, put my attention over here, and then he'll either leave or I'll have reason to go, because it's just going to pile up on the things he's not doing that he doesn't even know he's supposed to be doing. Whatever. You just get into this dance, turn the lights on, stop the dance, and say, here's what I need from you, because I want us to be what's in my head, what I need right now. Give him a chance. It'll be one of the biggest risks of your life. And I would say almost 2 decades of being together, from the guy that skateboarded down the street to make your mom's funeral, to the guy that said, I do. I think he's worth that. And most importantly, I think you're worth that. Stay on the line. I'm going to send you a copy of Own Your Past, Change Your Future. I want you to read it through together, and y'all can begin to ask yourself the scariest question any of us can ask, which is, what do I do now?